Hello Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Welcome to my channel. It is such a blessing to be here with you, so thank you for being here with me for your January 2024 Tarotscope. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to connect with you today. In the description box below, you will find links to information on personal readings, the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram, and ways to support the work I do here if you would like to explore any of those options. You will also find a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so use your discernment and take what resonates with you. If you find something shared does resonate, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, or share this content as it tells YouTube that there may be something valuable here for someone else, which is a gift to both this channel and to others as well, and I greatly appreciate that support. January kicks off 2024, a number 8 year, encouraging us to step into our personal power, to have faith in our own abilities, and to use them to their highest potential. These are some of the themes that we're going to be exploring for this month's Tarotscope, looking at your overall energy, what new level of power and inner strength is being ignited from within you, what's gaining momentum for you this month, and getting some advice or messages to best support and serve you and your journey moving forward. If you have been to my channel before, this month may look a little bit different. I'm going to be using only oracle cards for this reading. I do have tarot out in the case that I need some clarity, but using oracle strictly is something that I really do enjoy doing and do quite often on my membership channel. So let's dive in, Aquarius, and see what's coming through for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Christ, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about the overall energy of January 2024 for Aquarius, please. Yep, thank you. And that one as well. Tell us, please, what new level of power and inner strength is being ignited from, okay, thank you. Tell us, please, what is gaining momentum for Aquarius this month, January 2024. Thank you. And tell us, please, what advice or messages will best support and serve Aquarius in their journey and moving forward. Okay. All right. Aquarius, the overall energy for you for January 2024, we have out here first, here and now. This is the number 32, and that reduces to 5, which I do feel brings about almost this feeling of instability, certainly an energy of change, and happy birthday to any of you who are celebrating this month. You know, I feel like with Pluto moving into your sign and of course, you know, being in Aquarius season here at the end of January, I feel as though there are incredible changes that are taking place for you. And I feel like a big part of that is being present in the moment. I feel as though you're being encouraged to let go of the past, to realize that you do not live there. The past does not define you, and to also not be anxious or worried about the future, as that does not define you either, nor does it control you. I feel like part of the reason why I feel like you're being encouraged to be more present in the moment is so that you can enjoy life more fully, that it can, how do I say this? It feels like it gives you an opportunity to really move forward, right? To create this new sort of movement in your experience. And I feel like for a lot of us, we struggle with that, right? We struggle with almost like sitting still and realizing that it moves us forward, right? I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, um, but when we're present in the moment and we're not living in this anxious energy of worrying about the future, and we're not dwelling on the past, and we're not, kind of trapped by that, it does create this movement forward. Because often, that, how do I say, that worry of the future can often stall us, right? It can often prevent us from moving forward in ways that will best serve us. And certainly living in the past can do the same. So I feel as though, again, the overall energy is really trying to bring forth change through being very present in the moment, being very much in your body, being able to be in tune with your body, listening to it, and allowing what you discover there in those present moments to create momentum, to create change in your life. Right. I feel like part of being present in the moment and being in your body is, first of all, again, really getting to know yourself, understanding yourself, being able to hear yourself, but also to really delve into what has meaning for you, right? What you like, what you dislike, or what feels good to you or what doesn't. And we can't do that if we are not very much in ourselves, right? Living from our past, and being worried about the future is something that our lower egoic drives really kind of have control over. And it's very difficult to get to know our true selves if we're operating from those spaces. So I feel as though, this may feel a bit uncomfortable for some of you, but it does feel like there's a beautiful opportunity that's being presented for you. And it is one of change and momentum, or bringing forth change to create momentum, where maybe previously you have felt limited, boxed in, or even perhaps stagnant in some areas of your life. Certainly, that does not have to apply to all areas of your life, but take it how it resonates with you. Yeah, we do have here building blocks, the number 28. Again, this is to lay foundations for a new experience for you to, and I feel to really soak up or sink in to a different way of being, to experiencing the world from a very different place, right? Um, which I feel like is kind of playing into this here and now energy, is kind of playing into some of the more shadowy aspects of your nature that can become present, right? Maybe that more scattered, maybe a little bit detached kind of energy, really bringing you back to center, right? Instead of being like this, it's like, let's be like this, which can create more harmony and peace, certainly. But I feel like this is in order to create a new beginning, to lay foundations for a new experience. 28 reduces to 10. I mean, certainly we can reduce that even further to 1. But I feel like this is about really closing out a chapter for you, moving forward, things really coming full circle, and having how you experience life be renewed through being in your body and being very present, getting to know yourself very well, and opening up these doors of opportunity and potential for you to lay new foundations again through these experiences that you have while being very present. I think that's really beautiful, truly. Um, so, again, I feel like this is really kind of laying some beautiful foundation for a new experience for you moving forward. You also have here to be fair. This is the number 38. A big part of this, I feel, with the scales here is to be bringing things into balance, to feel more harmonious. Um, it's reminding me of the Justice card in the tarot, right? Which is very much about honoring truth, very much about clarity as well. Um, you know, but it's also to some degree or another, about this more kind of balanced energy. And it's also because it's ruled by Venus, so justice is a representation of Libra energy, and Libra being ruled by Venus is really about seeing the beauty in life. And I feel like this is what's trying to take place for you, right? Again, to bring this whole new kind of experience and to allow you to gain clarity on what is really important to you, what really matters to you, what is true for you. And again, to bring more balance into your life. Interestingly, 38, of course, reduces to 11, which is that energy of a new beginning. It's the energy of an awakening. It's the energy of, essentially opening a new chapter for you and your experience. And I feel like this is what is happening for you. I almost feel like there's this energy, Aquarius, especially with Pluto moving into your sign, of really stepping into who you're supposed to be, right? Aquarian energy is, of course, very kind of reformative and is certainly an energy of, being more like humanitarian and things like this. And I feel like this is all unfolding to really change things for you, again, to get you into this place where you step into who you really are supposed to be so that you can show up for humanity in a different way than maybe you have before, which is beautiful. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's some noise going on around me. I apologize if that's distracting. Hopefully it's not too bad for you. We also have here, oh yeah, truth be told, the number 14. It's interesting because, yeah, again, I feel like this is about, there's this golden mask here that the owl is standing on. And then in the center of the owl, where its heart would be, there's this open window. And I feel like this is about taking off that mask that perhaps some of you didn't even realize you were wearing. And it's about really stepping forward and moving from your heart space. But I feel like there's this kind of energy of needing to open your heart to yourself, which I feel like will be easier to do when you are present in the moment, when you are very much in your body, when you are very aware of the things going on around you, right? Because when we're scattered and we're detached, it's very hard to know the truth of our heart. And I feel like this is what is trying to unfold for you throughout the month of January. And interesting, again, as I was saying, that to be fair energy, reminding me of justice, and justice being this energy in the tarot of truth and clarity and balance. I feel like this is where you're trying to be moved toward, right? I'm not saying that this is where you will find yourself at the end of January, but I do feel like it's meant to get the ball rolling. So that way, when we move securely when Pluto moves securely into the sign of Aquarius for its extended 20-year stay, it's like you'll be ready to go, or you could be ready to go should you allow yourself to move through these energies and utilize them. But again, I feel like this is very much about kind of, rising above that mask, especially one where you may be more detached from your heart, from your truth, and instead rising up and moving more into the space where you have this more open heart, where you are very deeply connected to, or there's this open communication, if you will, between you and your heart, you and your soul, you and your truth, gaining clarity on who you truly are. So again, that you can move from that space with confidence, which is really, really powerful. And I love that for you. And interesting, right? 32 over here with here and now reduces to 5. The number 14 here also reduces to 5, right? So I do feel that this is all meant to be creating this momentum in your experience, creating this incredible change. Certainly that will not come without its challenges, okay, without facing some, mountains that reside within you and things like this, but it certainly is supporting you in creating that change, in triumphing over those mountains within. What new level of power and inner strength is being ignited from within you, Aquarius, We do have the Mother here in the upright or light attribute position. Nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. There's a certain beauty I feel that's trying to be ignited from within you around creating new life, and not just in the form of, let's say, a child, but a new life experience, right? A new way of being. And I feel like there could be this new power or inner strength that's being ignited from within you around nurturing that new beginning, having the patience to allow things to grow. Okay, so, I would say here, and this is something I say kind of a lot actually, but, I would encourage to not expect for these things to just unfold overnight, right? To kind of arrive at your door like an Amazon package very quickly. That there is going to be some unfolding or unpacking, if you will, that's going to have to take place, and will require your patience. It will require, your effort nurturing this new life, this new way of being into your reality, making it a part of your reality, right? And I also feel that for some of you, you may find a great joy in discovering these things and unpacking these things, in cultivating these things within yourself, especially as you open up to loving what you find within yourself. So I do feel like there's more of this kind of feminine energy, whether you are of the male or female gender, that is trying to be ignited from within you, right? Where you are more allowing, you are more at ease, you are more in a state of surrender, you are more in a state of understanding and compassion, right? And are really allowing yourself to feel every bit of who you are, right? Which again brings me back to that here and now energy. Some of you may actually, which is interesting, some of you actually may have become mothers recently, or perhaps are potentially preparing to become a mother, which is, I feel, just an interesting synchronicity with the energy that's coming through here. And the reason I feel like it's so interesting is because, being a parent, especially to a newborn, is something that really requires you to be very in the moment, very aware, very present, right? So I just find that to be quite interesting. We do have here for you as well the Slave in the reverse or shadow attribute position, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. I feel like a big part of this that is coming up, or let me rephrase, I think a big part of why this is coming up for you, Aquarius, is that surrender, right? We were speaking about it here with, kind of just being in the moment, not being super worried about the present, or pardon me, worried about the future, or being super stuck in the past, right? There is a certain level of surrender that comes with releasing the control of the unknown, and not kind of living by, how do I say? Living by like the box that your past has placed you in. Because here's the thing, a lot of people really do find comfort and security in staying in the past. And the reason that is because a lot of us have learned how to live there. We've learned how to survive there. We know how things kind of work, right? And so even if something isn't good for us, even if something isn't beneficial to our growth or our evolution or our happiness, we will remain in that place just because it's comfortable, right? So regardless of whether it's, being, or how do I say, surrendering to the unknown of being in the present, or if it's surrendering to the unknown of what the future may hold, not trying to control the outcomes. You know, I feel like there's this power being ignited from within you where you're being put in this position to be very present and to create something new from what you learn by being in the present, really aligning with your truth, gaining clarity on who you are and opening your heart to that and living that. You know, it does require a level of surrendering to the divine or surrendering to God, which I would call it, with complete trust. So, you know, I feel like the things that are happening are trying to position you to that, or to position you in that way, so that you're not giving your power away to external things, and are really instead allowing yourself to be present and not worried about what's to unfold. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I don't feel like this is something, again, that will happen overnight, but I do feel like it has been lit, or potentially will be lit within you through the month of January. And it really is to build this oh my good God, this level of power and inner strength within you, so that you understand the power of your choice to surrender, right? Because it is a choice. You have a choice. You don't have to live in the past and live by the rules, if you will, of the past. And you don't have to live in the future. You don't have to worry about the future. It is a choice, you know? So I feel like that's what's being ignited from within you. We also have here for you the Lover in the upright or light attribute position. Great passion and devotion. Unbridled appreciation of someone or something. I really feel here, Aquarius, that this is meant to bring forth the love from within yourself. I feel like this is right because we have this energy of the mother with unconditional love, and we now have the lover. For some of you, you may be healing some wounds around your mother or mother line, a mother figure. And that's just, I feel like, an additional piece of information for some of you, some confirmation for some of you, really kind of stepping into your authority over your own life. But with the lover here, I feel like what's being ignited from within you on, you know, a new level of power and inner strength is coming from the ability to love yourself, to get to know yourself, to be in your truth, and to love what you find. You know, that can be very challenging because we do have, you know, these darknesses that reside within us all, regardless of how saintly one might believe themselves to be. And, you know, learning to love all of these different facets of ourselves is something that is incredibly empowering and liberating. And I feel as though this is what is being ignited from within you, that ability to love yourself, to appreciate yourself, to like really unconditionally love yourself, to have patience with yourself, and to find joy in that. Wow. I feel like the energy is moving really, really fast for you as well. So if you are having things coming up to heal, if you should allow yourself to surrender to them, to be fully in them, right? And to not try to just kind of like scatter from them. I do feel like some of these healings could happen very quickly for you. All right, so what's gaining momentum for you, Aquarius? We do have here, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Yeah, I do feel like a big part of this, right, as we've been speaking on, is really figuring out your truth, really getting to know yourself on a very deep level, a very intimate level, connecting with yourself very deeply on an emotional level, if I didn't say that already, and loving what you find there and living from that space very truthfully, right? So that you are not hiding yourself in any way, right? There's that mask kind of energy here. So I feel, what's gaining momentum for you is the confidence to remove that mask and to step forward very strongly and powerfully and confidently in the beauty that is you. To not fear your uniqueness, which I do feel is something that is very kind of Aquarian, in my experience. And what I've learned about Aquarius, is it kind of has this, you guys kind of carry this like feeling of being an alien, of feeling very different than, very other than. And, something beautiful about that, Aquarius, is you're meant to, right? You are the sign of reformation. You are the sign that brings change, and we need that. Regardless of what time period we're in, if we stay the same, we don't evolve, we don't grow. So we need, people like you who think very differently, who have very different perspectives and are willing to innovate them, who are willing to bring those, new ways of being and doing to the forefront, to implement them into our experience, right? To invent new ways of being and doing. And so I do feel that, that embracing of your uniqueness, that willingness or confidence or courage to share your beautiful light is something that is needed. And I do feel like it's gaining momentum for you with that in mind, right? As part of, let's say, divine plan, especially with Pluto moving into your sign. Okay. So, I feel like this is the time for you, Aquarius, to really shine and really embrace your very unique nature, knowing how magnificent it really is. We also have here for you, mirror who or what is triggering you. Oh boy. Yeah, I feel like what's gaining momentum for you, if you are someone who's resonating with what I've shared so far, I think there are going to be triggers that come forward, right? Because in order to get to know who you truly are and to be comfortable in your own skin, to allow yourself to be whatever it is that you are from a very authentic and honest place, there is that need to address your wounding, your trauma, to dig beneath those things and to really figure out where the real you has been hiding, right? To get to the real you, we do have to work through our triggers, right? Our trauma, like I said, our wounding, our lower egoic drives that may have been calling the shots for quite some time. We have to kind of dig, right? We have to get very comfortable with our darkness, which is interesting because I have already brought that up, right? Loving both aspects of yourself. And recognizing that we all carry these within us. So, I do feel like there are likely to be some triggers that are coming forward, right, to create lasting change within yourself, to really bring that kind of reformation of life, if you will, into your own experience. And it's a powerful place to be. Certainly, again, it comes with its challenges, it comes with its fears, but it is something that I feel is going to be beneficial for you long term should you allow this to begin to unfold. But again, that Pluto and Aquarius energy really does support moving very quickly through these things. So, I feel like, again, if you surrender to them, you may find yourself healing these things and releasing them on a much quicker level than perhaps what you've experienced in the past, right? Where it's like, okay, now I'm going to take responsibility for my healing. I'm going to take responsibility for the things that I need to in order to get to who I truly am. And that's beautiful. It really, really is, because I feel like it's going to change your reflection, right? I feel like you're going to look in the mirror and feel very differently about yourself over time as things unfold for you. Again, take what resonates with you, but this is incredibly empowering. The energy that I'm feeling feels like you could, potentially begin to move in this direction where you're moving from a very confident place, but it's not a false confidence where you are just very kind of, now I'm just the messenger, so, it is what it is, but I feel like some of you have moved in the past from this mask where you are confident in the things that you love about yourself from a very kind of emotionally detached place, right? So it's like I'm choosing to kind of bypass my darkness, bypass things that I don't necessarily like about myself, and cling to the things that I do like. Which it feels a bit egoic. And again, please only take what resonates with you. But I feel like the direction that you are heading could allow you to be moving from a place where you're confident and are, how do I say, you're confident in who you are and moving from that place, but you've acknowledged all facets of yourself. You've accepted all facets of yourself, and you're not detached, but rather very engaged in, very aware of all of these different moving parts that you hold within you, your multi-dimensional, nature, your multifaceted nature, right? So it's not wearing this mask of false confidence because you're only playing into the things that you actually do like about yourself, that you actually appreciate about yourself, or that you want people to believe are like your only truth. But rather that you're seeing all of these facets of yourself and are fully aware of them and are loving them as well. So it's this confidence of wholeness in a way. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place with it, but I hope it's making sense to those who need to hear it. We also have here for you, get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Yeah, it really does feel like what's gaining momentum for you. And this has come up in many readings that I've done so far. This whole kind of connecting with the true nature of who you are. And the truth of who you are, Aquarius, is that you are a multifaceted, emotional being. And the truth is that our emotions are very sacred. The truth is that they're valuable. The truth is that they carry deep wisdom for us. And the truth is ignoring them gives them permission to control us from behind the scenes, whether we believe that or are aware of it or not. Right? I'm being reminded of a Carl Jung quote where he says, let me just grab this quickly, where he says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Okay? So I feel, it's more about bringing these things to the surface and not denying any aspect of yourself and aligning with the true nature of who you are, which is, you are this very multifaceted being with emotions. You are human. And so it's not denying any of those parts of yourself, not running from them, not, pushing them off to the side, hoping that they, just kind of disappear, but rather acknowledging the fact that you are emotional, you are sensitive, right? And you are likely empathic. We all have this capacity within us. It's just a matter of whether or not we're willing to acknowledge it and develop it. So, and here's the thing, Aquarius, I feel like embracing this side of yourself is going to help with that feeling of being alien. Because it's going to bring in that deep interconnectedness between you and all of humanity, right? Where we are all emotional. We are all, we all have our own perspectives. We all are very deep. We all, have these unique things about us that we feel make us different, right? So I feel like it's gonna, for some of you, it really does have the capacity to bring in this, again, like interconnectedness or oneness with all people, and to kind of move you a little bit more out of that I'm so alien, I'm so weird, type of energy. Now, I'm not telling you to like hide your freak flag, okay? Because the things that make you unique, that make you, very special, we need those things. right? We need your unique way of thinking. We need your unique perspectives. We need, you to be, weirdly you, in order to bring forth change. Okay, so I'm not telling you to hide that. I'm just telling you that you're likely to feel far less alienated if you understand that there are things that make you human that you share with every other human being on this planet, which includes, both that dark side of yourself and light side of yourself. We all carry that darkness, right? The Luciferic and harmonic impulses, which are, those darker sides. And we also all carry that light side, the Christ impulse. So, I feel like gaining this deeper understanding of this, again, could help you feel far less alienated, but do not hide your freak flag. Okay? Do not hide your light. Do not dim to fit in. Again, we need you exactly as you are. So, what advice or messages will best support and serve you and your journey moving forward? Speak your truth, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of truth energy coming out here for you. Archangel Gabriel, thank you, Gabriel, for helping me to speak with integrity. I feel as though there's something here about, how do I say this? I feel like some of you kind of have this energy about you of having certain ideas, having certain perspectives or things about you that you kind of hide because I feel like you're afraid that people won't get it, that they won't understand. And I feel like for some of you, there's this energy of like, well, say it anyways. The people who are supposed to get it will. Right? There's this energy of not now. I'm not saying, I just want to be very clear. I'm not saying that you should run around tactless. Okay? You know, I feel like there's a certain balance there, but I feel like speaking your truth, again, those who are meant to understand certain things will. And it's about being truthful, right? You have these two cards here, which are both bringing that element of truth forward, that element of clarity forward. And then you also have speak your truth. So again, I feel like a big part of this is for you to embrace your truth and to communicate it. Again, because the people who are meant to get it will. And that's about anything, whether it's your feelings, whether it's things that you feel like you should be creating in the world. I just feel like there's an element here of essentially, Aquarius, you're not here alone. You're not doing this alone. And even if you have not found your community, your tribe, your niche, whatever it is, communicating what is true for you will eventually bring that about, right? It will eventually bring to you the people who understand you, who get you. It will eventually, allow you to find your people, find your niche, find the things that, you're meant to be doing here. Again, it's very much about, not dimming to fit in, but rather like, here I am, ta-da, and sharing that. It really does feel like there's a certain level of beauty that I feel like maybe some of you have missed, or like closed your eyes to, if you will. A certain level of beauty that comes from being unique, right? And maybe there's trauma and wounding around that, because maybe, people maybe growing up or something, or maybe even in your, current life, people are, you're weird, I don't get you, you make no sense, blah blah blah. And, I feel as though, again, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. You're not supposed to be like everybody else. If God wanted us all the same, we'd be all the same. Certainly we wouldn't grow, we wouldn't evolve if that were the case. And so we're all very, unique in our own ways, and we're meant to be bringing our uniqueness to the world, to share, which allows everyone around us to ultimately over time grow and evolve and, change. So that's how I feel about that. We also have here, honor your feelings. Yes. Again, like I was saying, I feel like it's incredibly fascinating that I have this whole kind of energy coming through of, you being a human being and having this vast spectrum of emotions, and it being something that we each as human beings all, have within us, or all are not subject to, that's not what I want to say. It's all part of who we are. Right. So I feel like it's really, really important for you, and the advice coming through is for you to speak your truth and to honor your feelings, because you are an emotional being. It's what makes us human, or it's a big part of what makes us human. Right. So you have Archangel Hanael. Thank you, Hanael, for supporting me as I honor my emotions. I think this is so incredibly important. So incredibly important. Right? Give yourself some grace, for crying out loud. I feel like the overarching message here for you in this advice portion is for you to be who you are, to live in your truth, to experience your emotions and understand that emotions, for example, that maybe aren't so favorable or comfortable, like grief or sadness or anger or rage or hurt, also have deep wisdom. They're also very valuable, right? They have a lot to share with us. So it's not about running from these things, because that which we run from has power over us. And we get to decide. We have the power within us to decide what has power over us, right? So we can say, for example, I'm not going to let these emotions define me. Just because I'm hurt doesn't mean I'm weak. Just because I'm angry doesn't mean I'm bad. We can instead say, like, I have power over these things. Oh, I'm hurt. This is trying to teach me something. Let me find out what that is so I can move past it. Right? Let my emotions bring clarity. Let my emotions bring truth. Wow, so there's a lot of archangels showing up for you. Certainly not doing this alone. None of us are, but you have so much support in what is unfolding for you. We do have Archangel Jeremiel, the miracle of forgiveness. Thank you, Jeremiel, for helping me to understand the process of forgiveness. And I do feel like a big part of this is forgiveness for yourself, Aquarius. It's certainly when we start to heal, when we start to uncover our true selves, there is a part of this that is quite challenging, at least as far as I can tell, and from my own experience and the experiences I've had sharing with others, and what I've learned through others sharing their experiences with me, is, this realization of the damage, if you will, we've inflicted upon ourselves through our choices, through the rejection of ourselves, through our inability to accept ourselves and love ourselves, to be ourselves. So that's something that does, tend to show up. And forgiving ourselves for not knowing what we didn't know and giving ourselves grace is really, 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 really important. And I feel like it's a large part of taking responsibility for ourselves, for our experiences. Not only that, but we did have some energy of perhaps experiencing some trauma or wounding around maybe the mother line, or again maybe people saying you're weird, I don't get you, you don't make any sense, all these sorts of things. Finding forgiveness for those individuals as well, because they, as well as you, don't know what you don't know. Okay. So I feel that there's, the potential here for you to find forgiveness for yourself and for others, and for any trauma or wounding or pain or confusion or things that you may have experienced throughout your life. And forgiveness certainly is not giving a free pass. It is not saying that we are okay with what we've experienced, that we condone it, but it is saying, I'm not going to allow this to have power over me. I'm not going to allow this to dictate how I show up, who I am, how I experience life, but rather I'm going to take that power back. Right? And again, I feel like this is a contributor. We have who or what is triggering you, right? With this wounding kind of energy coming up. I feel like this is a contributor to you really stepping into your truth, to not hiding, right? Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of potential here for you to find forgiveness and to lay new foundations. Something that's worked for me personally, and I'm not saying this will work for everyone because it probably won't. Actually, it most certainly won't. But something that worked for me in my own experiences and finding forgiveness for some of even the more traumatic and maybe even some would call horrific things that I've experienced is to look at it not for what it took from me, but for what it gave me. For me personally, that was the only way that worked for me to be able to find forgiveness. And it is what it is. I'm sure there are some people who would disagree with that, but it really allowed me to empower myself through those situations. So instead, for example, looking at what being a people pleaser for like 30 years of my life or more took from me, it gave me the awareness that I was not giving to myself. It showed me the importance of needing to show up for myself by by paying attention to my needs and my desires, and how important it is to fill my own cup, right? To do things that are in alignment with my heart and my soul, and not just because I was, seeking approval or love or acceptance. So that's just an example, a real world example. I'm not saying that's your story, of course, but that may be something to look into for some of you. And finally, we have here for you signs from heaven. Thank you, angels, for sending me reminders of your presence. I feel they certainly did that here. But I also feel that there's a message here for you that there are those that have passed on from this life who are actively supporting you and guiding you. And I feel like if you ask, okay, right? Thank you, angels, or pardon me, thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence. I feel like you will begin to see them if you are open to receiving them. I feel like for some of you, these signs from heaven are coming in the form of dreams. I feel like they may be coming in the form of synchronicities, right? Numbers perhaps, or phrases even. Maybe even in like themes you're seeing around you. Maybe these themes are showing up in movies or songs or books or something. Please, for the love of God, take this only as it resonates with you. Do not make something your truth if it isn't, okay? But I do feel that you are being shown that you're not alone. For some of you, this could even be like reminders of loved ones who've passed. Perhaps they just show up, like they just come into your awareness, pop into your mind at a very random time. Perhaps you're even maybe like smelling smells that remind you of them, or somebody says something that reminds you of them, or something that they would have said. Maybe their favorite song is showing up in your experience or something. I just feel like if this is true for you, I feel like they are really dropping those hints for you. And I don't feel like it's, how would I say? I feel like it would be kind of hard to miss, because I feel like it would be very obvious, like, oh, that's so and so, right? Which is beautiful, because again, I just feel like it is a reminder for you, or it's something meant to encourage you and let you know that you are supported. You are not alone. Even if you feel alone, you are never truly alone. I mean, not only do we all have a guardian angel that is with us at all times, but the angelic hierarchies, the spiritual hierarchies are all supporting us. Our ancestors, our loved ones who have passed on are supporting us. God is certainly supporting us, and Christ is supporting us. Christ, the angels, God is all within us. We carry them within us. We're never separate from them. So you constantly have this support. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. And open yourself up to receiving them. So this is incredibly, incredibly powerful, I feel, for you, Aquarius. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a lovely reading. And if this has been for you, I feel as though it can be something that over time, ultimately, as it unfolds further, is really life-changing, really brings you to a place where you experience not only life in a very, very different way, but yourself in a very different way as well, where you're very appreciative of who you are, where you love who you are, where you find joy and satisfaction and completion and wholeness within yourself. And that is, like I said, it's a very, very powerful place to be. And I'm so excited for you. So again, I pray something here has resonated for you, has been valuable for you in some way, shape, or form, or perhaps has provided some kind of confirmation for you in your journey. Thank you so, so much for being here with me. It's been a pleasure to read for you today, to connect with you. If something has resonated, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. I love your comments, or to share. It means so much to me, and I'm so very grateful for that. Have a beautiful month wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Take care of your magnificently unique, needed, valued, and appreciated soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.